Very good morning. Okay, so we will understand what are the different forms of ratios. So yesterday we learned unit ratio. Unit ratio is when we will be having the antecedent will be equal to the consequent. That will be the unit ratio. Now here in the unit ratio, what will happen? You will have both A and A is to B. Whatever we take, it will be same. So that is known as unit ratio. Now next is inverse ratio or reciprocal ratio. Now in inverse ratio, the product of A is to B and B is to A will be same. So the ratio is said to be inverse if the product is equal to 1. So it will be same. The A is to B and B is to A. Whenever they do the product, it will be 1. Okay, we'll see these ratios when we solve the problems. Then compound ratio. In compound ratio, where if you have two ratios, A is to B and C is to D, we are going to multiply the antecedent, that is A and C, that is the antecedent we will multiply, and then the consequent also will be multiplied. Okay, so antecedents multiplied is A into C and consequent multiplied is B into D. Okay, so that is the compound ratio. Next is duplicate ratio. Whenever you square the ratios, square each of the element of the ratio, that is antecedent square is to consequent square, that will become the duplicate ratio. Subduplicate ratio, whenever you find the square root of it, that is called as subduplicate ratio. And then when it comes to triplicate ratio, whenever you cube the ratios, that is called as triplicate ratio. And subtriplicate, you have to find out the square root. Sub, whenever you see sub, then that is square root or that is the cube root. That will be for subduplicate, it will be the square root. For subtriplicate, it will be the cube root. Then continued ratio. When it comes to continued ratio, you will have the ratio in this format where the after the first number, the in between numbers will be continuous. Okay, because more than one aspect of the number will be same. So if you solve this ratio, 3/4 is one ratio. Okay, the second ratio will be repeated with this 4:6, so that will become 4/6. And then the final ratio will be 6:8, that is 6/8. So this is the continued ratio. Okay, so 3/4 is equal to 4/6 is equal to 6/8. So that is going to be the continued ratio. We are continuing the number after the first number. After the first number, the 4 is being continued to the second ratio. And after that, the third number 6 is being continued to the next ratio. Okay, next, ratio or greater inequality. In a ratio A is to B, if A is more than B, if A is greater than B, that is the antecedent is greater than the consequent, such ratio is called as ratio of greater inequality. If you see the example, the antecedent is greater than the consequent. So if you see the antecedent, it is 3 and the consequent is 2. So 3:2 and then 5:2. So 3:2, 3 is greater than 2, 5:2, 5 is greater than 2. Okay, 2:1, 2 is greater than 1. Understood? So that is the antecedent is greater than the consequent. So this is known as ratio of greater inequality. Next, ratio of lesser inequality. This is opposite. So the first, the antecedent will be lesser than the consequent. The antecedent is 2 and the consequent is 3. So the antecedent is 5, the consequent is 7. If you see the antecedent, that is the first number or the first term is lesser than the second term. So this is known as ratio of lesser inequality. This is ratio of greater inequality. This is ratio of lesser inequality. So these are the 10 important types of ratios. Understood? Any doubts until here? Okay. Now let us start with the problems. If the cost of 1 kg of bananas is rupees 30 and the cost of 1 kg of apples is rupees 90, find the ratio of cost of bananas and apples. Now the first and foremost condition in the ratios is it is supposed to be of the same unit. Now please check the unit. The cost of 1 kg. So the unit here is kg and the unit here for the apples is also kg. So 1 kg of banana and 1 kg of apple. So this kg is kept constant and the cost is differing. What is the cost? For 1 kg of banana, it will be rupees 30, and for the 1 kg of apple, it is going to be rupees 90. So all that we have to do is very, very simple. The one second. The required ratio is cost of banana is to cost of apples. Very good. So what is cost of banana? Rupees 30 is to cost of apples is rupees 90. So here I have 30 is to 90. So 3, first we will take out 0 and 0. Okay, 30 is to 20, we'll take out 0 and 0. So the ratio will become 3 is to 9. And then you can also do the cancellation from 3, correct? So 3 ones are 3 threes are. So therefore the ratio is 1 is to 3. Okay, everybody got 1 is to 3? Understood how to find the ratios? It's a very simple problem where we are finding the ratio for this. Now let's go to the next problem. Now the next problem is find the ratio of 300 kgs and 3 quintals. Now 300 kgs and quintals are not of same unit. Okay, kgs is a different unit, though kgs and quintals are related. Okay, so but they are of a different unit. So first what we have to do, we have to convert kgs into quintals. Okay, so 1 quintal one quintal is equal to 100 kgs. Okay, 1 quintal is equal to 100 kgs. So 3 quintals is equal to 3 into 100. So 300 kgs. Now we have converted the quintals to kgs. Now let us find the ratio. 300 kgs is to 300 kgs. Or what you can do is, we will write it with quintals and then change it to kgs. Okay, so 300 kgs is to 3 quintal. That is 300 kgs is to 300 kgs. Therefore, 300 is to 300, which is nothing but 1 is to 1 ratio. Yeah, you can take it as 3 is to 3. Okay, no problem. Now again 3 ones are 3 ones are, it will go. So 1 is to 1 will be the ratio. Understood? Understood this problem? Okay, now let's go to the next problem. Now the next problem is find the ratio of 348 minutes and 3 hours 48 minutes. So 348 minutes is one measure, 3 hours and 48 minutes is one more measure. Okay, now if you see, we are supposed to convert this hours into minutes. So one side you have minutes, the other side you have hours and minutes, right? So we have to convert this hours also into minutes so that we will have the same unit to find the answer. Okay, so first thing, let us convert the hours into minutes. So we will just write down like this: 348 minutes is to 3 hours 48 minutes. So here, convert hours into minutes. So how do we convert hours into minutes? Very good, Spurti. So we have 348 minutes on one side. On the other side, we have 3 hours. For 1 hour, if we have 60 minutes, for 3 hours, how many minutes will we have? 3 hours into 60 minutes. Okay, plus this 48 minutes will be kept as it is. Okay, so 348 minutes on the other side is to 3 hours. 3 hours into 60 minutes will give you 180 minutes plus 48 minutes. So therefore 348 is to 180 plus 48 is 228. Okay, now you can simplify this. Check if it goes in 2 ones are. 2 ones are 2, 2 sevens are 14, correct? And 2 fours are 8. Then again 2 ones are 2, 2 ones are 2, 2 fours are 8. Okay, now again it will go in 2, 2 8s are 16. You can just simplify like this. Okay, 2 8s are 16, like how we found LCM. Then 2 2s are 4 is to 2 5s are 10, 2 7s are 14. Now, oh, wait. This should be 87. 2 8s are 16, 1 carry, and then 7. Yeah, 87 is to 57. Even further, you can reduce, check where you will get the value. 29 is to 19. Yeah, correct. Which table did you consider? 5, 4. Yeah. 4 2s are 8. No. 3 you have to consider. 4 you will not get. 3 2s are 6, 27. 3 9s are 27. So you can take that. So therefore the final, see, always they have told ratio should be in the simplified, the most simplified format or the most simplified number, right? So if you take, consider 3 table, 3 2s are 6, so 2 will be carried, so 27. 3 9s are 27 is to, again 3 1s are 3, 2 will be carried over, 3 9s are 27. So your final ratio is 29 is to 19. Understood? Any doubt in this problem? Can we go to the next problem? Yeah. Now the next problem is divide rupees 800 between A and B in the ratio of 1 is to 3. Okay. So we are supposed to divide 800 rupees with A and B. So 800 rupees is there, which has to be shared with A and B in the ratio of 1 is to 3. Okay. Now here what are we going to do is, We will first consider rupees 800 is to be made into how many parts? We are supposed to divide 800 into 2 parts. But if you see the ratio, okay, if you see the ratio 1 is to 3, if you add them 1 plus 3, you will get 4. Correct? So that rupees 800 has to be made into 4 parts, where one part of the 4 parts is taken by A and rest 3 of the parts is being taken by B. Okay, one part has been taken by A and the second part has been taken by B. Now here let us solve it. So rupees 800 is to be made into 3 plus 1 is equal to 4 parts. Okay. Out of which one part, that is 1 by 4, is paid to A and 3 by 4 is paid to B. Okay, good. 200 and 400. So A's share, you would have solved these problems in partnership accounts. A's share is equal to, out of total 800, you are supposed to give 1 by 4 part, right? So 800 into 1 by 4 will give you rupees 200, and B's share 800 into 3 by 4, where rupees 600 will be considered. So A's share will be rupees 200, B's share will be rupees 300. Now can we go to the next question? Now, this is the same question like the previous one. 2,40,000 has to be shared between A and B in the ratio of 5:7. Now, will you try solving this problem? Try this problem. Start with sum of ratio. Sum of ratio. What is the sum of ratio? 5 plus 7, which will be 12. So 5 by 12 has to be paid to A and 7 by 12 has to be paid to B. That is the ratio that you have to follow. 1 lakh is to 1,40,000. You just have to say A's share and B's share. Okay, instead of giving it in the ratio, just say it in the way of share. So A's share is equal to 2,40,000 into 5 divided by 12, and B's share is equal to 2,40,000 into 7 by 12. So 2,40,000 into 5 by 12 will give us rupees 1 lakh, and 2,40,000 into 7 by 12 will give us 1,40,000. Okay. Now from where did this 11k? Okay, Praveen, don't give me in that thousands. It has to be 1 lakh and 1,40,000. Can we go to the next question? Yeah, correct. Now next, these are very easy questions. You're supposed to find the duplicate and triplicate ratio of the numbers. Now duplicate ratio. What is duplicate ratio? When you square the ratios, it is called as duplicate ratio. When you cube the ratios, they are called as triplicate ratios. Okay, so first let us find out duplicate ratio of both of this, and then we will find the cube of the numbers. Now first we will find duplicate ratio. Now duplicate ratio of what is the first question? 2:3, which is nothing but 2 square is to 3 square, which is 4:9. Okay, so this is the duplicate ratio. And then very good, second one, 5:8. 5 square is to 8 square, so 25:64. Very good. Okay, now similarly find the triplicate ratio. In triplicate ratio you are supposed to cube them. Okay, triplicate ratio 2:3. 2 cube is to 3 cube, which means 3 times you have to multiply. 2 twos are 4, 4 twos are 8, is to 3 threes are 9, 9 threes are 27. Then 5:8. 5 cube is to 8 cube is equal to 5 cube, 5 fives are 25, 25 fives are 125 is to 8 eights are 64, 64 into 8 is 512. So these are the duplicate and triplicate ratios of the given question. Understood? Any doubts in this? Duplicate and triplicate? Okay. Now, the next question. Calculate subduplicate ratio. Now, duplicate ratio means squaring. Subduplicate ratio means square root of it. Okay. In duplicate ratios, we found the square of the numbers. In subduplicate ratios, you have to find the square root of the numbers. Okay. So, let us find it. So, 144:169. This is nothing but square root of 144 is to square root of 169. So square root of 144 is 12. Square root of 169 is 13. Everybody got the same answer? Very good. Second one, 2:8. Correct. So for the second one, 4:68. Square root of 4 is to square root of 68. So square root of 4 is 2, is to 68 is 8. So 12:13, 2:8 is the subduplicate ratios of the given numbers. Now similarly, next one, subtriplicate ratio. Triplicate means cube root. So duplicate means square root, triplicate means cube root. Okay. So 27:125, which is nothing but cube root of 27 is to cube root of 125. So cube root of 27 is nothing but 3. 3 threes are 9, 9 threes are 27, and cube root of 125 is 5. So 3:5 is the subtriplicate ratio. And for the second one, 15.625 is to 8. Now such problems are a little complicated. You just have to try and multiply the numbers 3 times and find out. Okay. So they will not ask you such complicated numbers. Don't worry about that. Okay. So here cube root of 15.625 is to cube root of 8. Okay. Now cube root of 8 is 2. We have to do some multiplication for 15.625. Now let us see. 2 cube is 8. Correct? 3 cube is 3 threes are 9, 9 threes are 27. So it has to be between these two values, right? 15.625 is between 8 and 27. So the number also should be between 2 and 3. Now let us find out 2.1 cube. Can you calculate 2.1 into 2.1 into 2.1? What is the answer you will get? It's not 25. 25 is not the answer. Okay, so 2.1 cube is 9.261. So this is not what we want. Now let's check 2.2 cube. 2.2 into 2.2 into 2.2. We are getting, you are getting 5.2 of 2.5. Sharath? Spurti, is it 2.5? Excuse me, do not get confused. It is not 15,625. It is 15.625. Okay. So 2.2 cube also you will not get. Like that only if you check 2.5 cube, you might get the answer. So 2.5 into 2.5 into 2.5, which will give you 15.625. So this is 2.5 is to 2. You just have to do a little multiplication here to check the value of the cube. Again 25 cube is okay, 25 cube might be 15,625, but it is not this value. You're saying me from, because 25 cube is 15,625, 2.5 you can take. That is a way. But then please read the question properly. 15.625. It is not 15,625. Okay, be very careful with that. Now, did you all understand this problem? Any doubts here with subtriplicate? Okay. Now then, moving on to the next question. If x is to y is 4 is to 5 and y is to z is 4 is to 6, find x is to y is to z. So they're asking us to find the continuous ratio. Okay. Now here, what we can do is, the value of y we have to consider, see in the first ratio, and the value of the same y we are also supposed to consider in the second ratio. Okay, we'll write down few statements since you require some explanation. So here the value of y in first ratio is 5 and in the second ratio is 4. Correct? So the value of first ratio is 5, the value of y in the first ratio is 5 and in the second ratio is 4. Yeah, good Spurti. Yeah, it's a compound ratio. Now what we will be doing here is, we have to find x is to y is to z. Okay, so therefore we will multiply the first ratio by 4 and second ratio by 5. Okay, so what will happen at that time? X is to y, that is 4 is to 5. Okay, we are going to multiply this with the, we are going to multiply the first ratio by 4. Okay, now how does this come? 4 4s are 16 and 5 4s are 20. So 4 into 4 is to 5 into 4, which will be 4 4s are 16 is to 5 4s are 20. Similarly, y is to z, that is 4 is to 6. We are going to multiply this with 5 like how we did for simultaneous equation. So you will have 4 into 5 is to 6 into 5. So 4 5s are 20 is to 6 5s are 30. Okay. Now what we are supposed to do? X, since the value of y is same now, so x is to y is 16 is to 20 and y is to z is 20 is to 30. Okay, sorry. 20 is to 30. Since the value of y is same, so x is to y is to z is nothing but 16 is to 20 is to 30. Okay, you can simplify this. If you can simplify the ratio, can you simplify the ratio? 2 8s are 16, 2 10s are, 2 15s are. That's all. This is the simplest form of the ratio. Understood? Any doubts here? Okay. Now try solving this. It's very similar to the previous problem. Try solving this. So if A is to B is 5 is to 7, this is equal to, okay? A is to B is equal to is equal to 5 is to 7. So what do you have here? You have to multiply. A is to B should be multiplied with 3. 5 is to 7. So 5 into 3 is to 7 into 3. Correct? 5 3s are 15 is to 7 3s are 21. And then B is to C, that is 3 is to 2 should be multiplied with 7. So 3 into 7 is to 2 into 7. So 7 3s are 21 is to 7 2s are 14. So therefore A is to B is to C is nothing but 15 is to 21 is to 14. I don't think we'll be able to reduce the ratio further because you have prime numbers being added. Yes? Okay. Clear? Understood everything? No doubts? Very good. Very good. Okay. So we'll stop here for today and we'll continue in the next class. Fine?